Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a brand new speed build, this time doing one of my favourite styles of builds. So I think I said in the last video that Windenburg at this time of the year is just one of those worlds that I absolutely love building in. I kind of associate Windenburg with autumn, sort of winter time, and I think it's just because it's so traditional and it's got some real beautiful scenery. So today I'm kind of back doing one of those big, ridiculously huge suburban houses. So at the moment I'm trying to find a happy medium between building the kind of builds that you're requesting as well as building the builds that I absolutely love, because ultimately I like to build the things that you want to see, and also, I need to keep building the things that I love to build so that I can keep a nice happy balance between it all. So this is Mossbrow Avenue. It's a 4-bed, 4-bathroom build built on a 40 by 30 lot in Windenburg. And before I carry on, I just want to let you know that today I'm especially kind of bunged up. I think it's some sort of hay fever situation. I've literally been taking, because I get quite bad hay fever, and I've literally been taking hay fever tablets since, I don't know, maybe like March this year. And I missed one of my tablets yesterday and I just feel really kind of bunged up. So I can't believe we're in September and I'm still taking these tablets, because normally it kind of goes off in August and then, I'm absolutely fine. I don't really need to take any tablets. But this year it's been like pretty relentless. So I apologise if every now and then I sound a little bit croaky like a frog. But I assure you, as far as I'm aware, I am actually well. It's hay fever. But anyway, moving on. So one of the first things I wanted to say is a massive, massive welcome to everybody that's new on the channel. My channel has grown so much over this last sort of month and a half. It's incredible. And I thought today it might just be nice for me to sort of introduce myself a little bit to everybody that's new, because a lot of the time in my videos I kind of talk about, I talk about literally everything, but sometimes I drop in little bits about my life and I forget that there's so many people that are new that maybe don't know, my kind of background. So I thought it might be nice today just to do a little bit of a kind of chit chat, get ready with me, but well, I'm already ready and you're not actually watching me get ready. So I'm just going to assume you may be watching this whilst you're getting ready. But anyway, it's just going to be a little bit of a chit chat. So basically, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and a little bit about my background, and then you know who you're listening to and what I'm all about. But basically, my name's Kim and I live with my husband and 4 children in Manchester, UK. And I've literally been a simmer for 18 years. I wouldn't say 18 solid years, but I did start the first kind of proper go I had of The Sims was back in Sims 1. So I literally bought Sims 2 for the PlayStation when that came out. And I would say that my proper kind of love for building started back in The Sims 3. And I began creating lots and lots of beautiful houses. But after I'd built them, I say lots of beautiful houses, but I was quite, I was fairly new to building back then, so they're probably not as beautiful as what I remembered them to be. But basically I began building back in The Sims 3 and I used to create these houses, and literally once I'd created them, I just sort of moved on to the next house. And I always remember thinking, what a shame that, these houses are just pretty much wasted, because I just didn't really, I did occasionally play The Sims, but, I just love building. And once I'd built them, I'd just bulldoze them and build another one. It was, it just felt kind of pointless really in a way, but I enjoyed doing it. So obviously when The Sims 4 was released and I realised there was a whole gallery and we could upload our builds, that's where I really started to enjoy building. And I literally built from the launch of The Sims 4. Now, over on the gallery, you'll be able to look back and see some of my first builds from when I kind of began my Sims 4 building journey. And yeah, you can probably see that I have grown as a builder quite a lot over time. I'm still learning now. There's still lots and lots of things that I'm learning. And, but I've thoroughly enjoyed my time doing building since The Sims 4 was released. So at the beginning of last year, around about the time, it wasn't the beginning, it was around about maybe March, April time, something like that. My youngest daughter was only 9 weeks old, and out of the blue, I decided to start up a YouTube channel, which, thinking back then, I have no idea where that came from, because it's not something I've ever wanted to do or anything I've really ever thought about. I think I was playing on The Sims 4 one day, and I noticed that I'd had thousands and thousands of downloads by this point, and that I kind of thought, wouldn't it be a good idea for people to be able to see, how I build, how I get to the builds that I've done? So yeah, just out of the blue, I decided to start a channel, and I have literally not looked back since. So I threw myself into YouTube last year, and it was so tough to kind of balance home life and looking after children as young as, basically a newborn, right the way through to, just staying up so late at night doing editing and building and things like that. And there is literally some voiceovers at the start of my video where I sound so sort of and it's literally because I'm so sleep deprived. It's unbelievable having a new baby. So I don't do things by halves, that's for sure, but I'm really, really glad I continued the journey. So there's a little bit about me. So in the day, I look after my children. I'm really fortunate. My husband's got a great job, and he works, doing security system designs and things like that. And, I look after the kids. And since then, I've literally, I look after the kids in the day, and then I work really hard on my YouTube channel on any bits of kind of downtime I get around that. So yeah, but that's a little bit about me. And I would say, when people think of like mums and stuff like that, I've got a teenage boy. He's 14 now. And, his mates are kind of like, wow, that's pretty cool that your mum's a YouTuber. But the truth is, I am literally very, very young at heart. I had my eldest son when I was very, very young. I was only 18, just turning 19. And, so I am a very young at heart mum. And gaming is something that I've enjoyed over the last sort of 10 years. And I don't really consider myself to be like an old-fashioned mumsy mum or anything like that. I'm pretty hip, if I do say so myself. So with that in mind, I just wanted to say a massive, massive thank you to each and every one of you, whether you viewed my video, liked it, commented, or downloaded it, whatever it may be. I just want to say a massive thank you for all of that support, because looking back over a year ago now, I never would have thought, little old me with a completely sleep deprived with a newborn baby and 3 other children to look after. I wouldn't have imagined I'd have got this far with this channel at all. So, your support will always, always be appreciated. So anyway, with all that in mind, because I feel like I say this quite a lot, but I truly am very, very thankful for the support and your comments every day as well. I try to answer as many as I can, but I always have a look through the comments, and you just blow me away with kindness, and it's such a lovely thing as well. So yeah, but anyway, moving on. There's a little bit about me. So moving back to the build, I am moving on to the interior now. So this is a 4-bed, 4-bathroom build. We've got 2 of the bathrooms upstairs, and we've actually got 1 bathroom downstairs and a downstairs toilet. So I suppose it's technically 3 bathrooms and 1 toilet. But I think it was kind of like a couple of rooms into this build when it had a complete identity crisis. I think I was building very, very late at night at this point, and I kind of turned the computer off, came back to it in the morning, and felt that the whole design on the inside was a bit too modern compared to the outside. So I did go ahead and switch up some of the wallpapers. I didn't want it to be old-fashioned on the inside to the extent that the last big Tudor house was, but I didn't want it to be too modern that it just didn't really match the outside. So I decided to go for kind of like a happy medium of them both and just do, a normal modern-ish kind of interior. It's just very, very homely sort of feel, it's just a nice big family home on the inside. But I did get very indecisive about wallpapers and things like that. I think when I came to the first reception room, which I'm moving on to next after this one, this looked completely different when I began building it. It was one of the last rooms that I did before I shut off for the night. And when I came back to it the next day, I just didn't like the wallpapers, didn't like the sofa, so I decided to change the whole thing up. So this is kind of like the final look. I went for these blues and the kind of brownish type tones. But in the downstairs of this build, we've got 2 reception rooms. And we've also got kind of like, it's a little bit of a chilled out music room. Normally I'd have made that room into a study, but I think I put a piano in there, and we had a nice fireplace and a place to sit. And there's also obviously the kitchen, the dining room, and we have the downstairs bathroom and toilet. But we've also got a garage on the side of this house as well, and I decided this time to actually convert the whole thing into a gym. So from the outside it's the garage, and from the inside we've still got, you know, the shape of the garage door and things like that, but I decided to just make it into a proper working gym instead this time, because normally I throw loads of junk in there and a little bit of anything and everything, but I thought no, we'll make that into a functioning room. So with regards to the upstairs in this build, it's got 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms upstairs. I think 2 of the bathrooms are literally twin bathrooms as well. I did include the downstairs bathroom in the footage just before, and they're pretty much the same kind of style all throughout, you know, the bathrooms upstairs and downstairs. So but the 4 bedrooms, I did 2 double bedrooms. One was kind of like a master room. The second one was kind of like a teen girls room, and actually the third was a double room as well, and that was sort of a teen boys, very grown up sort of room. And then we did I think it was a girly twin room, so we had like a single bed and a toddler bed, and lots of kind of kids skill building items and things like that upstairs. So there are lots and lots of skill building items throughout this house. I mean, obviously in this room alone we've got lots of fitness skill building items. As per usual with kind of a non-budget, as many packs build as I like kind of build, I tend to throw absolutely everything into it. So we've got loads of kids skill building items and loads for the adults as well. And obviously on the outside of the build, I always include plenty of skill building items as well. So we've got planters, as well as I think we've put an easel out there, a barbecue area, and I think I put in some beekeeping boxes as well. And I know we've got a set of swings, so there's just absolutely loads to do in this house. It's definitely one of those, you know, end game houses, if you like. You know, when your Sims made all of the millions, they're probably fairly a few generations down in the line to be able to afford, you know, this kind of house. But it's a really good sized house, and the bedrooms were actually all really good sizes as well. They were fairly big. So with regards to the bedrooms in this house, I did go ahead and personalise them a little bit more this time. I know in the last big Tudor house build I did a lot more of a kind of traditional style on the inside, and I decided to leave the bedrooms fairly blank really. There wasn't a lot of personality with them. But with this build being a little bit more of a homely kind of feel on the inside, I decided to go ahead and personalise them and, you know, give them a bit more of a personality. But it's entirely up to you what you do with this build when you download it, how you want to change it. Obviously, you're going to change it because each and every family, each, you know, Sims family that you have is going to have different family dynamics. But it's kind of just of a canvas for you to work off, and you know, but I kind of like these bedrooms. They were all really good sizes, and I like the way they turned out. So I hope you're all having a fantastic week. I can't believe we're halfway through the week already. I feel like the days since the kids have gone back to school are just flying by now. And I was actually talking to one of my friends the other day, just basically saying how even though, you know, we're a lot more routine now with the kids back at school, the days are literally flying. But yeah, so the week's been really good so far. The next build that I've got planned will hopefully be a collaboration that I'm working on, and then I'm going to try my very best to come up with some sort of community build if I can. I know a few of you have requested a kind of community style build, so I'm going to get some ideas together and see what I can come up with. But I must admit, I have really enjoyed doing the restricted pack builds recently, especially since we've, you know, I've kind of figured out how to disable packs in my game to be able to build them, you know, it makes life so much easier. So you'll definitely be seeing a lot more of those on my channel. I'll be combining different packs together just to see, you know, what I can come up with, and I'll certainly be focusing on a few smaller suburban homes as well. I've been quite tempted to do a starter home too. Starter homes aren't something that I generally really like to put on my channel, because ultimately I do this channel to do, you know, to see how creative I can be and to just build really big beautiful houses. But you know, I think it's quite nice sometimes. Everybody needs starter homes, especially if you're playing The Sims from scratch. So I may even give some of those a go. So I'm just working on the final room now, which is kind of like the twin girly room. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, it'd be amazing to have you on board. But have a great week, guys, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.
Stand behind the line. So